Without further ado, join me in welcoming our 2025 winners, Kelly Starling Lyons and Tonya Engel.
Thank you so
Hi.
much. Hi, everybody. We're
Hi.
so honored to be here, and it's just such a pleasure to share this time with Tanya and all of you. My Hands Tell a Story was a book that was inspired by my relationship with my grandmother. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was a grandma's girl and I always helped her cook. But along with the cooking, there was lots of sharing of her memories and sharing of lessons and sharing of heritage. And I think that Tanya brought everything to life so beautifully, so seamlessly. And I also want to thank our editor, Eileen Robinson, and the entire Reycraft team for giving our book a home.
I'm Tonya Engel. I'm the illustrator of this amazing book that Miss Kelly wrote with her whole heart. I just really loved the opportunity to capture the essence of grandmother and grandchild and that bonding time that they spend together. I'm sure we all remember, if we were lucky, having the opportunity to be with our grandmothers and do something alongside her, whether it be sewing or, in my particular case, baking, which is still remains my thing. And I definitely, the idea and the idea was to channel that love into the book throughout the illustration process. And Kelly made it really easy. I was transported back to those times in the kitchen and with the flour everywhere and just can't wait to see what beautiful thing we made together come out of the oven. And it was an honor to create those images in this book.
I
So
love that. The other thing we wanted to point out too is in the sharing, as you're listening, maybe think about some things that important people in your life have done with their hands and how that has inspired you to use your hands and your gifts in order to make a difference and make the world brighter. For me, my grandmother, she worked in steel mills in Pittsburgh and she worked in a greenhouse and she fed unhoused people and she rocked babies. And so all of those moments and all of those roles that she played throughout her life, that was rich grounds for us to, kind of create and have this story blossom from. So we're going to go ahead and read the story to you. Story time. My hands tell a story. Tanya and I are going to go back and forth with the reading. One thing I love to do when I go to schools is I love to have kind of a call and response. So in the story, you're going to hear her hands tell a story if you listen. To be part of our reading, when we say her hands tell a story, if you can say where you are if you listen. All right, so the first spread. There's my Zoe, Grandma says, waving me into the kitchen with a floured hand. Can I help? Wouldn't be the same without you, she says.
I wash my hands and stand beside her at the table. Grandma shows me how to knead dough into a ball that will rise like magic. Her hands tell a story if you listen.
I was just a little girl like you when Mama taught me how to make cinnamon bread. Ingredients are only part of it. You got to get the rhythm. Push and pull, push and pull. I try to do like Grandma, but the dough bunches instead of glides. It's sticky, not smooth. I frown at my hands and wonder if they will ever move like hers.
Like this, she says, sprinkling flour like fairy dust and placing her hands over mine. We use the heels of our palms to push the dough forward. Then we pull, and we fold to pull it back again. Push and pull until it's just right.
I place the dough into a greased bowl Grandma covers with a cloth. Making bread takes time, she says. So we sit and wait. We sit and talk. Her hands tell a story if you listen.
Grandma holds her palms in front of her like a map. They look like roads, I say, tracing the lines. She smiles like they go places only she knows.
Wasn't easy, she says, typing and filing until my hands ached and heading to the studio at night. Some people said I should just be happy I was working, but I had a dream of dancing on stage. I pictured Grandma in the spotlight, head raised toward heaven, her hands weave a world without saying a word. Then she takes off, leaping and twirling through time and space. Her fingers are branches stretching toward the sky. I look at my hands and wonder what stories they will tell. Where will they go? What will they learn?
I glide a fingertip down Grandma's rose-painted nails and across her knuckles. I stop when I get to her wedding ring with flowers blooming on the band. When your granddaddy and I got married, she says, we bought a little land people said wouldn't grow a thing but weeds, but we broke up the soil, planted and tended, loved and believed. Our blessings burst through that earth. Yes, they did.
Eating at their house always makes me feel special. Gifts from their garden gleam in china dishes. Squash and onions, collard greens, candied yams. Tangy smells tickle my nose and make my mouth water. I wonder if one day my hands will grow something too.
Before I know it, we need to check the dough. I can't believe how big it has swelled. We flatten it, then dust it with cinnamon sugar. Next, we roll it up and lay it on the pan. I cover it with cloth so it can rise again. Let's get some air, Grandma says.
Outside on the glider, the wind whistles as Grandma rubs my hand soft as a whisper. I hear murmurs of her hands flowing and dancing, praying and planting, stroking my hair when she thinks I'm asleep.
Then something happens. I look at my hands, really look at them for the first time. I can see memories in every line, clapping games with friends, drawing my dreams, building and baking.
Time for the oven, Grandma says, rising to go inside. While we wait for our bread to be ready, I think about the power in my hands. They can turn pages, color, and create. What will tomorrow bring?
When Grandma puts down her crossword puzzle, I jump up and race to the oven. It's time. She cuts hunks of our cinnamon swirled bread. The spicy aroma makes me wiggle. I spread butter that melts into each nook. We take a bite and slap our hands together. Grandma stares at my fingers like she's seeing something new. You have my hands, she says. Our fingers are long and skinny, sweet brown like sugar, made for holding and reaching. But you'll go places I've never been, Grandma says with pride. I see my hands raised in victory as I cross the finish line. I see them making music. I see them writing about Grandma and me.
At home, I type on my computer and hear the tap tap rhythm, softly first, and then louder and stronger. The words fly out like they're sailing on a breeze.
My hands tell a story if you listen.
Thank you so much for being part of our live read aloud. Again, we're so honored, and we want to say thank you to every child a reader, Children's Book Council, Penguin, Reycraft, and everybody who made this possible. We'd now like to introduce Beryl and Cordelia Dewdney, the daughters of Anna Dewdney, who is the namesake of this wonderful Read Together Award.